Feeling guilt when you leave? Welcome to today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Coach Tobias Forst, founder of Achilles Life Coaching, decade-long recipient of narcissistic abuse, and I've saved myself from it. And I accompany you on your journey to your personal freedom. Today we will deal with a hero question, as I call them. A statement by one of the commentators, a lady naming herself Chita, from one of the previous videos, and this deserves special attention because it is a very open and very constructive and very educative comment. And it is about whether or not, or to which extent, you might feel guilt when you leave the narcissist, your narcissistic partner. The possible self-reproach and all there is. I will go into the message right now. You will see it in a few seconds up on the screen. You can pause it if you want to read German. I will then remove it from the screen again within a few seconds, and I will just translate this now on the fly. This is why I'm looking over here. So let's go into this. This commentator, the lady naming herself Chita, describes the following. I left my ex-husband after 20 years with my sons back then at the age of 10 and 6. In addition to that, for the reason because I could no longer be responsible, take responsibility for the fact that the children, and yes, myself included, were exposed to this incredibly destructive behavior on a daily basis. I had no idea, no clue that what we were facing was a grandiose narcissist. Never even heard of it. I thought it was just due to his alcoholism. The boys, for years on end, continued to visit him at the weekends, and I even drove them there and fetched them. He refused to pay his monthly due. Then he filed for bankruptcy, and that was his way out of this duty. The caretaking right, I don't know what it is when the mutual where both parents have a right to see and interact with the children. That's what I mean with that. He wanted to keep, but so in order for him to be required, that his participation be required for everything school related or psychological therapy, etc. In hindsight, I have a lot of self-reproach that I feel to the fact that I could not protect my children better, but I myself was already completely destroyed, entirely kaput. By now, they don't want to know anything about their father anymore, and they went no contact of their own accord because they were sick and tired of his continuous nonsense and word salad. The younger of the boys was suffered from depressions, self-destructive behavior, social phobias, and neither of them have many social contacts. I've only started to realize this now a few months ago when I uncovered the truth after 10 years about my new partner, a covert narcissist. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will get into that particular most important statement and or question for this video today. I am now in no contact. I try to bear my feelings of guilt as best as I can because I left him when he was diagnosed with cancer, the non-life-threatening kind. But I am very determined. I've had enough. So let's recap where these feelings of the commentator Chita and her realizations come from. We have the usual that lead to all of this. We have the hope. That's why you stay. The hope that why you shouldn't ask her or anyone else, why did you stay 20 years and 10 years? Hope, ladies and gentlemen, it's a difficult cocktail that makes us stay. There's hope that things are going to be better. There's forgiveness that needs to be given, handed out on a very, very repeated basis. Otherwise, we wouldn't be there. Then there's lack of knowledge. Not to confuse with lack of intelligence. It has nothing to do with it. Lack of knowledge. None of us, at the point where we encountered at least our first highly toxic person in our lives, had no idea that this operating system in fact even existed. Or were you taught at school about narcissism or narcissistic personality style? Were you told during the educational path you chose, or at university, at high school? No one cared whether you knew or not. Or even better that it's probably better if you don't know. Makes controlling you so much easier. And last but not least, empathy. Your will, her will, to give the compassion and the sympathy for the other. At this point in the video, to people like the commentator Chita and all among you who've managed to remove themselves from narcissists in your lives, congratulations. This is no small feat. This is not something that happens like this with a snap of your finger. This is a process, a long process that can even take years, because while you're gathering information, summoning the courage to leave, organizing the logistics behind it, the minimizing the opportunity costs, taking care of that you don't suffer any damage or harm of whatever kind, all the while you're probably self-gaslighting. That maybe you might not have maybe you might have over-interpreted this or that, whichever it is. Then coming to a different conclusion, the healthy conclusion, that yes, it is valid what you experience. It is real what you went through. Your experiences and whatever happened to you was real. And the effects were real. And your perception with your mind, your eyes, your ears, your heart were real. And then comes the point where this is possible, where you leave. Now we will pause the topic for a moment. Most of you will now say, congratulations, Chita and everyone else who has managed this. Don't feel guilty. And I completely agree. And still there are people out there that at this point try to gaslight a woman like her. People with toxic positivity. Positivity coaches. Because as I was made aware of by the user Destiny Target on the German, on one of the German videos recently, people like Chita, that commentator Destiny Target, posted something about a certain German coach with a statement of toxic positivity that claims the following: that people like you, me, and Chita here would have to tolerate this narcissistic treatment and continue tolerating this narcissistic treatment. Why? Because to judge is equal to cutting yourself off from necessary experiences. I'll repeat that. Let that sink in. To judge is equal to cutting yourself off from necessary experiences. So by extension, you, her, me, we are all supposed to tolerate toxicity from other people in our lives. We need to learn to integrate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what these positivity coaches and people with toxic positivity have been smoking. But it is clear as day that it is certainly not intelligence-inducing. Now the time has come at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that I tear a few of those toxic positivity coaches, to tear them a new one. We'll open this up. We'll open this up right now. So let's assume we agree with that placeholder statement. That placeholder statement that says, let me read that again and translate. A judgment is equal to you cutting yourself off from your own experiences. Your judgment is equal to you cutting yourself off from your experiences. This says everything and nothing, as it is supposed to, I assume, because each and every one of us should probably find at least some way of interpreting this claim in a way that we might think, yeah, I could use this. Maybe, yeah, that sounds truthy, doesn't it? So, wow. Oh, I'm riled, ladies and gentlemen. Bring the good stuff. So let's tag along with this claim for a moment. So one's own experiences are oh so important. All right. Who judges which experiences are those? If I offer you A and you take it or refuse it, these are two different experiences revolving around a single act. So we have to make a judgment. You have to make a judgment in this example if you accept it or refuse it. You can't have both accept it and refuse it. So this is where this bogus falls apart like that. It's just you just need to blow and it falls apart. But on stage it sounds really cool, and the tie is so nice, and he has such a nice haircut, and he talks with a booming and self-confident voice, doesn't he? Must be true, the toxic positivity. Good Lord. So if your own experiences, one's own experiences are oh so important, then we shouldn't deprive toxic people like these two men in the comment here by the user Chita. We shouldn't deprive those two men of the experience that is not having this woman in their lives. And the separation from this woman shouldn't be judged by these two men. Because judgment is equal to them separating themselves from their own experiences. They should in fact welcome this experience, unless that welcoming is based on a judgment. Then it all starts to get problematic yet again. And there might be some very few viewers out there that at this point find it offensive what I say and how I say it. And to those few among you, I have the following answer. Please don't judge, because by judging me for saying what I say and how I say it, splits you and separates you from your own also important experiences. positivity coaches. So now we will close the arc to the comment, the very constructive and insightful comment by the user Chita, who left her ex while he has or had the diagnosis of a non-fatal cancer type. The following questions to you, Chita, and to you, ladies and gentlemen, that I recommend you ask yourself. Does your staying or leaving change this man's physical state in a positive or negative way? If you stay, will you be at his bed and verbally devaluing him, trying to condition him, gaslight him? The vast majority of you will not. They will answer this question with a clear and resounding no. Good. Next question. How will your staying or leaving affect your physical, your mental, and your emotional health? Can you breathe more lightly when you're out? Do your rashes disappear when you're out? Can you find a path to your self-worth when you're out? Or do you stay and forgive and hope and show empathy despite everything you've learned? If you can leave. I understand not all of you can leave. I understand that. But at least you should know what you're doing and dealing with what you're dealing with. Or even at the bed, when you're holding his hand in that example, that man in that example. Are you being invalidated again? Another gaslighting, another short-tempered response. So no, Chita and all of you, ladies and gentlemen, you should not feel sorry, you should not feel guilt for leaving a person like that. He didn't care in that context about how she felt or how the boys fared in their lives. What was it again for the younger gentleman? Depressions, self-destructive behavior, social phobias, very few social contacts. It's not exactly father of the year or stepfather of the year in that context, and the other one, father of the year, also not. So no, and it doesn't even matter if, to me personally, that's me right now, it doesn't matter to me if such a toxic person with me, myself, and I mentality in everything they're doing is healthy and sound or has a terminal condition. I don't care. I don't even judge. Am I sufficiently positive now for you positivity coaches? You, ladies and gentlemen, and the commentator Chita, all of you, have an obligation to your physical, your mental, and emotional health. So empathy, yes, please. Start with yourself and extend it to your children, if there are any. And a man like this, in this comment, he, by his own doing, and in other contexts, lack thereof, has laid the foundation, the foundation for him right now no longer receiving any support from the family. Actions have consequences, And consequences require taking responsibility. So the next time, ladies and gentlemen, you might be feeling guilty when you leave a toxic person. Don't. And be your own hero, be your own heroine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.